gotta fix my camera here.
MSNBC. Even they got sick of her endless.
I woke up to this morning.
Precisely what Joy is.
You gotta hear some of the crap that come across my feed. I want you to hear this before I get started.
They can't fix the history they did. Their ancestors made this country into a slave hell. But they can clean it up now because they got the Smithsonian. They can get rid of all the slavery stuff. They got PragerU. They can lie about the history to the children. They can't originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. We black folk gave y'all country music, hip hop, R&B, jazz, rock and roll. They couldn't even invent that, but they have to call a white man the king because they couldn't make rock and roll. So they have to stamp the king on a man whose main song was stolen from an overweight black woman.
Oh, she will.
I guess you gotta hustle any which way you can to make your money. You know what I feel like with these kind of people? It's like you see a salesperson out there that's selling something that you know is going to crash on the people, right? You know, it's a car. Let's say it's a car. It's a car. And it happened to me, man. How's this? It happened to me. Bought a van. I was hustling, man. I was working, trying to make money. My vehicle broke down. I think I told the story before. My vehicle broke down. I was ignorant about the buying process. I was in my early 20s, and this would have been my second vehicle. In New York, you know, you didn't really buy a lot of cars early in your life. Hold on, let me fix something here real quick before I continue. Give me a second, folks. So anyway, let me reset this. So I went into the lot. The guy put me in a car, in a van, because I was selling, right? And public. I just had to make sure it was public, guys, because I don't know, something happened. This thing was unlisted. So it was in a van. I was in, so he put me in a van. And then he started me, he put me in the passenger seat. Now, if I had known, right, I was like, I gotta go, man. What you got? What you got in the lot, right? And he drove it. He hit the gas, boom, and I was like, yeah, man, it feels good, And he drove it like from here to there, right, to like, let's say a block away. And then he drove back, and he kind of hit the gas, but he knew exactly when to punch the gas because the tranny was gone. The tranny was going. And I bought the damn thing, paid cash. And I was like, man, I gotta get my machines in here. So I took it to where my machine broke down. I mean, it was like this. This is how I work. Let me let you know how it was like this. Machine broke down, my car broke down. I got my dealers stranded. And I'm like, guys, listen, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get me a vehicle. Okay, I'm gonna get me a vehicle right now so we can keep working. It was like that, okay? And so it was, oh my God, it was off of is it Allerton Avenue or some shit like that? Burke Avenue? One of those avenues. I forgot the name, the exact street. And I got my guys, got it in. We went out that night. That night, the tranny went out on me. That night. And when I listen to people like that, they sprinkle little bits of facts that people can tie. They can tie their emotion to, right? And then they walk them into this. Give me a second, folks. Yeah. Yep. you pretty much know that you know why I'm calling, right? Come on, you could do it. You could do it. Guess why I'm calling you back right now. Ah, because I'm recording. I don't know if you have some kind of internal clock that you know exactly when I'm recording. You're like, let me call him right now. I, I'll talk to you. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Is everything okay? I'll check. Yeah, I'll do that. All right, bye. Anyway, I'm working on this rainbow. But yeah, man. Yeah. If you guys understand what I'm talking about, please, if you're black, do not listen to these people. If you're white, not all black people are like this lady. I swear to God, man. I don't know how. It's got to be where either she totally believe everything. Listen, I don't even care about this. Who invent this and who invent that? And, oh yeah, we did this. And okay, great. Let's say all of that is true, right? Let's say it's all true. Let's say fine, it's all true, no problem. What now? And that's what I'm saying, man. What now? What are you gonna do now? What are you telling the people? What are the people gonna get from your message? Like, what are they gonna get from it? How are they gonna grow from it? Tell me, what now? All right? It's the same thing. I look at it the same way I look at sports. Okay? Like, okay, think about it for a second. I'm silly like this, right? I'm silly like this. I can complain all I want about what the machine did and what they did to make it and what they did to all this other stuff. But the only thing that's going to get this machine working again so it can perform is for me to fix this thing, this machine, not the past machines, not if these people had a better attitude about the past machines, not the history of the company, not the company when they never used to hire Asians or something like that. I mean, what the hell is that going to do with this machine working right now? Would it help? Is it a novelty? Is it nice to understand the history of the company? Rainbow, let's say. Yeah, sure. Rainbow never used to hire these people. Okay, what does that mean? Right? I'm using the machine now. I need it fixed now. What are you telling me? And that's my attitude. It's not like I don't need to condone nothing, and there's no condoning of nothing. It's like, if you're not actionable about what to do right now and how do we hit our goal right now, what are we doing, man? And there's a lot of people who listen to these folks and they buy into it and they get stuck in the past and they get stuck in this hate and they get stuck. I'm like, what are you doing, man? It's tough enough trying to make $1, bro. Are you kidding me? Are you gonna have these people just keep focusing on oh yeah, they didn't invent this and who invented that and who did that? What does it matter? I bet you bought one, and all this other stuff. Anyway, I'm done. Guys are like, Wayne, you keep going off in these other tangents. Because I'll be honest, man, stuff is in your face every day, man. It's like, yo, can you people shut up already and let's do something? Let's do something. Let's make some money. Let's have some fun. Let's live healthier. Let's live longer. Let's be happy. Let's get to it. And unfortunately, let me get this thing out of here. The gullible is always going to be profitable on both sides of this scenario. Extreme left, extreme right. The gullible is where the profit is at. And that's the gazelle. The lions are always hunting. This lady, she's like a hyena. So you have the lions and you have the hyenas. I can't stand hyenas, man. The lion already went, he hunted, he got his meal, and the hyena's going like, man, wait till he turn his back. I'm gonna go grab that piece of meat and we're gonna run off, okay? Everybody, let's go. Oh my God. Oh shit. Let me get this out of here. I'm putting a different one in. Oh man. These damn people, bro. It's poor folks, man. I'll be honest with you. I feel for these guys because it's not about being better, man. It's just that, you know what? I was fortunate enough to have grown up in a business or a type of business or an environment, how's that, that taught you to be accountable for you, and you were the one that, it's on you. I mean, it's on you. You want to be better at this, you're going to have to improve your pitch. You're going to have to improve your attitude. You're going to have to get a good smile. You're going to have to know how to knock better. You're going to have to know how to, whatever it is, it's on you. You can't keep blaming the customer. You can't keep blaming the weather. You can't, I mean, dude, we used to knock in the rain and the snow. We would go out and we would, man, you had to find business. It didn't matter, bro. You know how many times I'm driving home in the damn blizzard, and we went out that day. We knew a blizzard was coming, but man, and it was dangerous. It was probably dangerous. We probably shouldn't have stayed home. We should have stayed home, right? But the attitude was, man, let me see if I can get into a house and get a sale. Let me see if I can get a sale today, man. And then you know what gave us the let me see if I can make sure I see anybody that's just tuning in. You know what gave us the pats on the back? When a guy bought a sale in the next day, and it was a blizzard that day, and it's like, listen, man, everybody else went home. Okay, I took my crew out, and we got 3 sales yesterday in the blizzard, you know. So the attitude was overcoming. The attitude was about overcoming, man. About, you know. I was listening to this guy that was talking about, this is not a clinic today, guys. I'm just ranting, all right? There's no clinic. You can see what I'm doing and watching, and you can learn something from it. You know, I have a ton of clinics. I'm just ranting, man. I'm just getting off. Because this lady, honestly, she pissed me off, man. Because I said, I guarantee, there's a ton of people who are listening to this race hustler right now that is believing her bullshit and is going to follow her down the road into disaster. And their entire life, I'm talking, if you see old folks, their entire life, they've been feeling hate. Their entire life. And getting nothing for it. And they've been hating, and they hate, and they're hating, and they're mad, and these people, and there's always these people, and these people, and these people. And I'm like, damn, dude, you got nothing else, bro? That's the only thing you got. What now? What are you going to teach your kids? How are they going to make it in this world where they can't negotiate with people because they hate them, because they're thinking of all this bullshit? Man, these guys are dumb. I'm sorry. Man, she's smart to find a hustle that is going to make her some money, but it got her out of a job. It doesn't mean that she's not going to work again. She's going to work again. But if I have someone's ear, I'll tell them, don't buy her shit. It's not gonna do you no good. There's no good. It's not gonna get you anything. Who do we got, man? Who's up? What's up? Who do we got? Technician and salesman, frontman. That's what's up, man. Lightning. That's who I am. Damn it, bro. Respect. Okay? I'm a pro technician too, man. Just listen to your story. Yeah, man. You know, look. You know what the problem is sometimes with being a technician? Is that you can't trust someone else to do the job. There's a downside and an upside to everything. Just keep that in mind. There's a positive and a negative, right? And you just need to know who you are and what you deal with, because you don't want to blame nobody, man. What the hell? You're gonna go to your grave blaming somebody else for your failure? So I know that that's who I am, because I like to draw, you know. So I'm into the details and shit, even though you know. My tools will be scattered all over the damn place. My drawing pencils may be scattered all over the place. I'm not organized in that way, but I do get into the detail of the work, and I learn how to get good at the thing. The drawback to that is you're the one that's good at it, right? So I valued training people, so I got very good at training, because I realized that if I don't overcome this thing where I got to do it if it's going to be done right. If I didn't overcome that, it's on me. That's my thing. That's in my head. You know what I'm saying? I got to deal with that shit. So you got to learn to train people. So, and then trust that they'll do the job. You know how long it took me to have someone work here and handle a register and stuff like that, man? Crazy. It took me a while, man. It was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Oh my gosh. But that's my own little dilemma. All right. But so the technician is not normally the business person. The technician is normally the technician. Okay. I'll tell you this. I'll give you this one. There's a guy named Frank Vendetti that was the guy that was a divisional supervisor in the New York region, in the Kirby business, right? And he says, listen, you need a 5-department program if you want to have a successful office, if you want to do it well. And it was like, well, you need a guy who's doing the recruiting. But when you're brand new and you're just opening your office, you don't have all the money for all these people and all this stuff. But he said, listen, trust me. You need someone who handles the financing, and that's all they do. Because if you're thinking about motivating your guys, and you're thinking about all the financing, and you're thinking about recruiting, and you got to go out and get the sales, you're going to put the kind of pressure on these guys to sell that it has to do with your bills, and you're not going to motivate them. So you need someone who's just handling that. Let them handle that, right? Let them handle that. Let somebody else handle the recruiting. Let someone else handle the repairs. You can't get caught up in the repairs while you're trying to make money. So, and then your job is to think of the big picture, how you're going to grow your business. And at the time, man, it just sounded like a cool concept, but now running the business, I totally get it. I totally get why the technician is not the businessman. Just like the creative guy is not the salesperson that goes out and sell the idea. Normally those guys, you have a guy who's coming up with all the numbers, guys who's coming up with all the ideas, and then you have the guy who knows how to sell the damn thing. Okay? And so how I put those two together with this thing I was talking about, this knucklehead lady, I call it that because she's hurting a lot of people's lives. That's why. You know, you have freedom of speech, but I'm also free to say that what she's saying is bullshit. How you put all that together. Just imagine this for a second. I use this analogy, but I got a new one this morning. This guy with a big beard. He's a big muscle-bound dude. He used to own a gym, and he owns some company. And I was listening to him, and I was like, holy shit, that's exactly what I'm saying, right? What he said was this. He said, imagine you're a small company trying to sell to a big company, right? He says, now you may think you have a disadvantage because the big company is going to say, look at this guy. He's just a guy in his basement. He has, he don't have the track record we have. He's not as good as us in this. And we have all of these blah, 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 right? He said, but the guy who's in the basement, he's actually in a really good position, right? Who's just starting out. Because he said his sales pitch can be this. The big guys, they have so many clients, they've already lost their zest to focus in and zero in on you. You're just a number, okay? What they're gonna have is a sales rep that will come and try to handle your account. What you're gonna have is me. So it's not really me against the big guys. It's really me against that new sales rep. Now, do you think that sales rep care enough about the business to treat you right? Or do you think me, that it's me and my shop and my small crew, we're gonna put our attention into your business? And I was like, holy shit, that's what I'm talking about. You can look at yourself and you can be like, oh my God, what was me? And how am I gonna do it? Anywhere in life you have that attitude, you're gonna fail. Okay? So now imagine a whole people think like that. And that's what they're doing to the Black Americans in this country. They got an entire group thinking like this. Okay? A whole group, all they fixated on the past of past wrongs and blah, blah, blah. And they're changing history. It's like, dude, man, why don't you help create a new future, bro, for your family? What are you talking about? How much money are you going to make back there? You know who's making the money out of this? This lady And anyone who's giving a speech on this shit, raising money off of it, writing a book on it, but who don't make money off of it? The people that's listening to this bullshit. They don't profit from this because there's no actionable thing to do to improve your life. That's it. I'm ranting today, man. Sorry if you came for something else. You're like, dude, I thought you were going to show me how to fix the damn rainbow. Nah, man, I woke up this morning, that shit was in my feed, and I'm like, oh my God, man, enough of this. Come on already, man. How long are you guys going to keep dragging your people on a chain to the past, bro? You can still respect your ancestors or all the stuff. You can have reverence for all that. But this kind of emotional attachment is not healthy, okay? And you haven't been able to use it to leverage. So if it's not a leverage, leave it alone. Drop it and move on and build a future, you know? Anyway. Okay. Let me see. I think she had one more piece. I didn't want to cut off everything because I couldn't hear no more, but let me see. Hold on. I think she got one more piece. Hold on.
Brace yourself, because Joy is about to turn.
She got one more piece. Hold on. She got one more.
See if you can keep up with this stream of insanity.
When you invent a country where you don't tell white people that they need to innovate, even Elon Musk didn't invent them damn Teslas. 2 other men invented it. He just bought it. And so when you tell them you don't have to be excellent, you just have to be white, you will get mediocrity. You will get mediocrity because they're not asking white people to be great. They're not asking them to be great. They're telling them you can be the opposite of great and be defense secretary. You can be the opposite of great and be Homeland Security Secretary. They're telling white people a lie so that they will believe that they have achieved when all they're doing is thieving greatness from other people. And I actually think that is a shame for white America, because if...
All right, folks. All right, let me look at 2 or 3 comments before I have I lose my shit over this part. Lightning, man. Listen, man, I appreciate you hanging with me today, bro. Oh my God, man. Yep. One guy for sales, one guy for train technicians to do what I do and don't want to do. Hey, listen. Okay. Lightning, man. Let me tell you what's up. I'm gonna share one more. With you. Okay. I'm gonna share one more with you. All right. Oh, so when I first started, I started early. I started young. Yeah, right. But I was introvert, right? But it took me a minute to get here, to get to that spot, right? In other words, I started my first job was at a auto mechanic shop. Then I worked at a supermarket, okay? And then I left to work at UPS, okay? And when I worked at UPS, this is what happened, right? I didn't, there's a lot of things I didn't understand, but the guys that was at the job was always talking shit about the job, and they were there like 8 years, right? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think I want to be here. Really? And we're working overnight, so I'm getting on the train. I go into, oh my God, Houston Street, I think it was. And I'm coming back home like 3, 4, 5 in the morning and shit. And I'm like, man, I don't know. No. And I was going to Bronx Community College and all that stuff, And I was like, I said, all right, look. I answered an ad for assistant manager, and I went to some place in in New York City, and there was this dude in this sharp ass suit. And he had like $100 bills in his pocket all the time. And he's just like, whipping out these big ass bills. I'm like, damn, word. So like me, a little gullible self, I'm like, man, I want to do that. So it was selling magazine subscriptions or some shit. And I hung out there for a little bit. And then I was like, man, I got to get out of here, man. I'm not making no money here. So I answered an ad on Gun Hill Road in the Bronx, worked for this guy. I did a couple of sales. And then the guy said, his recruiter was leaving, and he said, hey, You come here to work early every single day. I think you got what it takes to be on train. I was like, really? Hell yeah! But I was happy to get off the damn field because I'm like I wasn't good at getting into doors. I wasn't good at it because I was too. I don't know. I was too worried about. I don't know, man. What they will what they will say. Maybe rejection. Maybe it was. I don't know. But I wasn't good at it. So then I started recruiting, and then I started learning how to get good at it. I went out with some of the guys. I said, man, listen, if I'm going to be hiring people to do this, or not hiring, but recruiting them, I gotta be good at this, man. Damn it, I can't have this on my back. This cannot be like a thing that is weighing me down. So let me get good. So one of my best friends today, name is Ed. Okay, he lives down here. I said, man, I got to ride with Ed. I got to ride with Marco, man. These guys were very good at the job. And I had to learn how to get good at it. This way I can feel confident when I'm bringing people in. But it wasn't something I wanted to do. I was terrified of failing at that because it was like, how do I get good at this shit, man? And then I got good at it. Then I learned how to do it. And then I opened my own distributorship. Well, I came to North Carolina, opened my own distributorship, started buying my machines from Ed, actually, who I recruited in the business in back in the day, and he happened to open an office down here, and I was doing something else because I had left for a moment, and then Ed said, "Man, once you come back down, man, once you work with us, so I'm telling you, you're good at this, man, and you're good because he like I can recruit." And then, bam, opened my shop, got my dealers. Sam was my girlfriend at the time, came and she was knocking. So this is what Sam would do. Sam would go knock the door. Hey guys, we're in the area showing a few things for the house and everything else and the whole deal. And the people in North Carolina was just like, oh, hi, just come on in. And Sam was like, okay. So we'll walk in. And then I'll come in and say, hi, ma'am, how are you? Listen, let me go get my stuff and we can show you what we got. No obligation. And man, we did it. But it was on us. And then we started recruiting, but I was afraid in the beginning, man. I did not want to do that. That was the one thing that I was like, oh my God, until I started doing it and I got good at it. And then it became a second nature. So my early self would not be talking right now, would not risk putting myself out there for people to critique my work and say, man, you're full of shit, or man, you did it wrong, and a lot of people do that. They're like, man, you did that thing wrong. I'm like, okay, man, thanks for sharing it with me, because at this stage of my life, I appreciate the information, so I don't do it wrong the next time. I don't have time for my ego to get in the way. The only time that I do it with my kids, my son tried to disrespect me. I'm like, hey, let's not do that. Oh, man, you want to see me turn into a little monster, man? You have my son say something to my wife. I said, listen, that's your mother, bro. Okay? you tone it down. Okay? You're talking to your mom, all right? That's where. But that was a long-ass explanation to say I agree with you. Oh, my God. But anyway, so to address what she said, about they don't tell white people to be great. I mean, what kind of stupid thing? How stupid is that? What parent don't tell their kids to be great, to do the best you can? It's the other things along the parents' belief system, the community that they're in, that infect these kids. Every parent wants their kid to be great. That's just natural. What do you mean? What do you mean white people, as a white people, don't tell their... How stupid you have to be to let that come out of your mouth and really either truly believe it, or either that, or you're really toxic, you've been infected, you're just whatever, or somebody is, or you're grifting, okay? But every parent, let's say mostly, 99% of parents, let's say there's one idiot parent that don't want their kids to be great, okay? But parents, for the most part, okay, want their children to be great. So that's a stupid statement. Okay? It's a stupid statement. Okay? And it keeps people in that state of mind. So rather than them being great, they're busy saying, yeah, those people, man, they stole this and they don't want their kids to be great. It's like, come on, man. How is that gonna... Anyway, I'm done. I think you get the point of what I'm saying. It was just that I was just royally irritated by this. And you know what? And people don't check them, man. How is it that you guys are... How is it that people are just interviewing these people and don't check them, man? I'm like, yo, really? You're gonna let that not... Really? You could be on the same side, have the same political views, and you have to be able to call somebody out and say, yo, man, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Don't say that. That's bullshit. You know, come on. You know, that's bullshit, man. Cut that out. Okay? What we need to do is take care of our shit. That's it. Okay? In general, I'm talking Americans, period. But this race hustling bullshit, man, it just keeps people down. It does. Because there's no solution. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Man, you know what? Honestly, let's be real. If there was a solution, if there was an actionable solution, I get it. There's a lot of communities that know how to leverage this stuff. Am I doing this ass backwards? I am doing this ass backwards. Yes, I am. I'm doing this ass backwards. Their communities know how to leverage it, but they use culture, religion, and other things to know how to leverage their past atrocities and everything else. But when you gave up culture and all the other stuff, then hey, dude, then you're bad because you allowed someone else to rebuild your culture. That's on you. Yeah, there it is. I had it backwards, the wiring. Hey, man, what's up? That's all for me?
Yes.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, man. No, nothing else? That's it?
No, that's it.
All right, thanks. Okay. All right, I think I'm done. I just had to put a new motor in this, and I just got myself distracted as I'm talking about this stuff. If you guys have a question about anything. Oh, you know what? Lightning? Yeah, I know. A shout out to UPS, right? What happened to your business during COVID? All right, Lightning. Nothing. Honestly. Okay, let me not say that. Probably a little dip, but not what you would think. I didn't even take the PPP stuff. I didn't, you know. I was like, nah, I ain't messing with that shit because I'm not messing with that. I left that shit alone. There's a lot of guys got a lot of money on that, and there's a lot of smart people getting they figured out how to maneuver and all this other bullshit. I was like, nah, let me leave that one alone. So, but people still came, you know, people came with their little mask. I even had a temporary little thing. It's so stupid. It was for the look. It was for like, I'm just showing you that I'm on the same page of understanding, and you know, I realize you're fearful, so I'm just gonna kind of eliminate some of your fears. But come on, man. I was like, come on, man, really? If this shit wanted to get to me, you think it's gonna stop at that glass right there? You think it's gonna like, oh shit, there's a glass right there. All right, let's go back. Oh man. But also, I'm glad I wasn't in New York, man, because my family members got hijacked on that stuff, bro. I'm not saying that COVID didn't affect people, but they really did hijack us on who was affected, who can fight it off, and all this other stuff. And I guess newness and all that. But I'm very doubtful that they were totally unaware of the potential of this particular thing. How's that? Especially if you're cooking it up. I'm very doubtful that they were unaware of how effective their treatment was and all that stuff. But the people here, man, most of the people here was just like, yo, let's get life going. You want to throw on your mask, But nobody was like, oh, I can't believe it, except for a few people that I knew personally that was like, nah, you can't come and visit mom because, did you get the shot and all this shit? And I was like, man, dude, are you kidding me? You're saying that this guy can't come, but then you yourself, you know, let me not talk about it no more because this is gonna piss me off, and it's gonna probably someone's gonna hear it and say, "Wait, I heard you talking about me. I know it was me you were talking about." But the fact that it split so many families is why I'm probably more irritated about the way they were pushing this.